So I've been a solo backpacker for about a decade, but this happened at a hike-in lake about 6 miles from the nearest trailhead. I reached the water at dusk and saw a man sitting on a log with a fishing rod. No gear, no backpack, no cooler, just a rod. We nodded at each other, and I set up my tent about 200 yards away on the opposite bank. Around 1 a.m., I woke up to a rhythmic splashing. I peeked out my tent flap. The man was standing in the water, waist deep, right in front of my camp. He wasn't fishing. He was just staring at my tent. Every few seconds, he would take one slow, deliberate step closer through the mud. The splashing I heard was him moving toward me. I grabbed my knife and I yelled, "I see you." He stopped instantly. He didn't run though. He just stood there in the dark, waist deep in the freezing water, and whispered, "I just wanted to see if you were a heavy sleeper." I spent the rest of the night with my back to a tree and my eyes on the water. At dawn, he was gone, but he'd left his fishing rod staked into the mud, right where my head had been resting through the tent wall. My boyfriend and I found the perfect spot off a Forest Service road, about 50 feet from where we parked. We saw a high-end, expensive cooler sitting alone in a meadow. No tent, no car, just the cooler. Being complete idiots, we walked over to see if there was a name on it. When we got close, we realized the cooler was padlocked shut with a heavy chain. And then we noticed the smell. Something copper heavy and sweet. My boyfriend nudged it with his boot, and we heard a muffled thumping from inside. No, not like something alive, but like something heavy shifting in liquid. Suddenly, a whistle blew from the tree line, sharp and short. Then another one answered from behind our car. We realized we were being flanked. We didn't even try to open it. We bolted for the car. As we peeled out, 3 men in ghillie suits stepped out onto the road. One of them was holding a camera, and the other 2 had what looked like heavy-duty tranquilizer rifles used for livestock. We didn't stay long enough to find out. We don't go off trail anymore. This one still messes with my head. I was camping in a narrow canyon. I was alone. And to keep my spirits up, I was humming and occasionally talking to myself. I shouted, "Hello," just to hear the echo. It came back clear. "Hello." And then, 5 seconds later, it came back again. "Hello." This time, the voice was closer. And it wasn't an echo. The pitch was slightly higher than mine. I stayed dead quiet. A minute passed. Then, from the darkness just beyond my firelight, I heard my own voice again, perfectly mimicked, saying the exact sentence I had said 20 minutes ago. I think I'll have the beef jerky now. It was a person. Someone had been sitting just outside the light, listening to me talk to myself for hours, practicing my voice. I heard the crunch of gravel as they started walking toward my tent, still whispering my own phrases back at me in a distorted, mocking tone. I didn't stay to meet my twin. I abandoned my tent and ran for the trailhead with nothing but my car keys and a flashlight. I got out of there fast. I can't tell you what that was, but I can tell you I've never gone camping alone ever again. I'm an ultralight hiker, and I pride myself on navigation. I was following a line of pink survey tape tied to trees, assuming it was a detour for a washed out section of the main trail. The tape led me deeper into a cedar swamp. The further I went, the fresher the tape looked. I reached a clearing where the tape ended. In the center of the clearing was a single lawn chair facing a tripod. On the tripod wasn't a camera, but a high-powered telescope pointed back toward the way I'd just come. Curious, I looked through it. It was aimed exactly at a hidden spot on the main trail where I'd stopped to change my socks about an hour ago. I realized the pink tape wasn't a detour. Someone had watched me through that scope, seen where I was headed, and then ran ahead of me to lay out the tape specifically to lead me to this clearing. I heard a metallic clink from a hunter's tree stand about 20 feet above the chair, but I didn't look up. I just turned and ran through the swamp, ignoring the tape, ignoring the branches hitting my face. I heard the sound of someone descending the tree. The heavy thuds of boots hitting the trunk terrified me. I made it to the road just as a logging truck was passing, and I flagged them down. I looked back, and a man was standing at the edge of the woods, holding a roll of that same pink survey tape. He just waved it at me slowly, smiling eerily. I hopped into that truck, and I never looked back. I don't know what that was, but I'm grateful that that truck was passing by. I don't know if I'd be here if it wasn't.